Hey guys, it's Eero here, and in this video I'm going to present to you the biggest secret of reaching a higher level and the biggest obstacle that is preventing you from progressing and reaching a higher level in whatever you're trying to do. And this is something that I really understood when I met and I talked and I trained with George St. Pierre. And for those of you who don't know who George St. Pierre is, he's considered the greatest of all time martial artist and probably the greatest or the most successful and the most intelligent martial artist that have ever existed. And the biggest secret and the biggest obstacle that I'm going to share you is coachability. And if you know anything about George St. Pierre's story, he started as a garbage man. And every single week he would drive from Canada to all the way to New York to learn from the BJJ coach John Danaher, who also considered probably, at least nowadays, the best BJJ coaches out there. And so I later watched actually a video from John Danaher where he was talking about GSP and why he was so successful. And Danaher was really marveling about GSP's ability to invest in himself. And he was talking about how, GSP was a garbage driver, and every single weekend he would take a bus drive from Canada to the New York to come to their gym to get essentially just beat up by everyone else because their level in the gym in the BJJ was so high. And I believe this was probably the reason why GSP went there in the first place. He wanted to learn that knowledge. And he was also explaining how George St. Pierre basically spent like 25 to 50% of his income as a garbage man into coming to New York and to learning from them, learning there and living there. And that was really something that's very, very striking, There's a guy who became the best in the world, and what he was doing before that is that he was trying to find actively the best coaches, the best teachers that are out there, to go to them for whatever it took, go find them and then follow their knowledge, follow their advice and adhere to what they teach, adhere to the teachings and follow it 100%, digest all the information and knowledge that you can out of them, apply it into your own training, and that way climb up to your own success. So this is just like in this story, you can see already the two parts of that come to coachability. First is the finding or the willingness to, this actually in a way the willingness to learn from other people. In this case, it is finding the best possible teachers and coaches that are out there. George St. Pierre also trained with Firas Zahabi and more late with Freddie Roach. So it's not just he was training with John Danaher, but other also amazing teachers and coaches out there. But this ability to be willing to learn and find them, and then really stick to their teachings, really 100%, don't question it, do it, and only later after you have mastered it, you can start to apply it more and more and adjust it to your own personal needs. And this is something that is not only related to martial arts. I realized that this is the same thing, this very same thing that was George St. Pierre did. This same applies also to the world of fitness, the world of training or bodybuilding, whatever it is, the athletics or anything like that. The same secret applies. You get, and it makes a lot of sense if you think about, for example, trying to reinvent an airplane. You're there thinking you need to figure out from scratch how to build an airplane. Think about that. You're not gonna listen to anyone else. You're not gonna follow anyone else, any instructions that were before you. So that wouldn't make any sense, right? But and if you would do that, it would take a whole lifetime or even multiple lifetimes to actually be able to build that airplane. But instead of that, instead of that, you could have just gone to a person who knows how to build them, who is an expert in them, learn it within maybe a couple of months or maybe maximum in a year, learn it in a perfect manner, all the little tweaks that are about it, all the little details, learn about all the pitfalls, right, about building this airplane or building a car, whatever it is, this machine, and like instead of just trying to figure it out yourself, which might be even impossible in some cases. So in this context, it seems like totally insane, like it doesn't make any sense. But sometimes when it comes to this training or fitness or even martial arts, people, for some people, this is how they think, that they can figure all of this by out themselves, right? And we have a very good example even in our lives, like when we went to, because we have been of course learning from multiple teachers from like regards to like dance and Pilates and yoga and even the Thai boxing and the MMA and whatever, all of this stuff, and even gotten courses and such online. So, but then we had this amazing opportunity to actually go and learn into Taiwan from Grandmaster Jiang Yushan. And what we did was we went there 4 times, long, expensive flights, 4 times in Taiwan, across the continents, across the ocean, to learn from Jiang Yushan, like a huge, big time and money investment to go learn from this guy, because he had something that was really, truly amazing, that this knowledge about Qigong and about this sort of Eastern ways of taking care of your body was something that you couldn't access anywhere else. So thinking about like now what we gained from there, like all the trouble that we put into those trips was like easily worth it because of the knowledge that we actually got access to. It was so amazing. Like you don't even like believe that this is what we could learn. And so this is the issue that many people have, why they don't really, this big secret, why it remains a secret, is that sometimes it's just out of like the big ego. Like even I had it when I was starting, not just ego, but kind of like inexperience. Like you could say just inexperience and not having this like a perspective of what you could actually learn and what is the level of knowledge that are out there. People cannot even imagine the level of knowledge that can be out there. So in the beginning, just trying to like piece it out together from doing like 10 different things and trying to do all by yourself, and you're doing like 10 different things at the same time, and you're mistaking quantity for the quality. Because there's so much like material in, for example, YouTube that you can just immediately get access to, and you think that, well, this has to be all that there's out there. This has to be it. But the problem is that in the beginning, if you don't have much experience, like I said, the inexperience, you don't even know, you cannot like judge the quality of the knowledge that you're getting. You don't have any reference to what is actually good level of knowledge. So you're just taking everything from there because it's given basically free, or there's no block or hindrance for you to getting that knowledge immediately to yourself. But you don't really know if that's really truly good quality, or what is the level of that, and what is the range that there is for quality teaching. So this can all be come through experience and realizing, like even when we went to Jiang Yushan, we were thinking that we would only learn about the hardening stuff, like all that hardened bone stuff, because all we knew was that it has like this huge hardened limbs and fists that he can break bricks and stones and granite blocks, and we wanted to just learn that. Well, lo and behold, he had like this whole world of knowledge about the internal arts related to the Qigong and the Kung Fu that just made a huge an impact even within one session. It was really amazing and mind-blowing to actually learn about these things. And if I had previously before that tried to search from YouTube or from articles, some information, I wouldn't have, and thinking that that's everything, I would have a completely wrong idea about everything. So it's really hard to sometimes understand how much knowledge other people can have. But that's one of the big realizations and when it comes to, for example, in George's Pierre's approach, is that he's always ready to humble himself. He's always ready to learn from other people. Of course, you don't need to try to listen to every person out there, but just trying to at least locate the people who have this knowledge regards to the area where you want to get better at. There's always these people who have so much more experience, and it makes the process not only it can make it 100 times more more shorter. It will really shorten. It's like a shortcut because it makes the process quicker, but you'll also learn the much more quality in a much more better manner. So this is why it's so essential and why it's such a huge secret in reaching this high level. It's getting some knowledge from somewhere else, but it's also such a big block, because if you don't get that knowledge, it might be that you never figure it out. It might be that you never really figure out this knowledge that is out there. So the other point that came to this, is that this ability to adhere to the knowledge, ability to adhere to the information that you're getting there. Because even in our programs, I think like the people who got the best results from our programs are those who are able to really commit to it, follow it 100%, like 100% follow the program, not try to do like 100 like different things, but really follow to this program like it's laid out, the programs as they are there, and not try to immediately like adjust it in their own manner. Like, people may take this in a wrong manner sometimes. When I say like don't question it, they'd be like, well, you mean that I need to be like this zombie, like, well, like, oh, just tell me what to do and I'll do everything. That's not really the point. I always like emphasize and even like try to like encourage people to think by themselves. So not questioning doesn't mean that you don't think about what you're doing, you don't analyze it, you don't try to internalize it. This is a very important part of the learning. But in order to do that, in order to analyze the training, you need to do the training. You cannot really think about it or try to apply it if you don't first follow it as it is, and from there, mastering it, you can start to apply it and change it around here and there. But you gotta, there's a saying like follow the rules before you can break the rules in some ways. So that's a really important quality it's respectful towards the teacher, and because there's nothing that you can even really ask, but you need to start doing. Like, this is a really big one. The only way to learn about training is to actually do the training. And after that, you can, all the theories, all the methods, all the stuff then can start to, come from there. So even when we went to learn the Qigong and stuff, even there, I was following it. I was really following this. And through that following, I was starting to realize these principles, and I was starting to really be able to apply them to the other areas of fitness as well, outside of the world of Kung Fu and Qigong, to other type of training, general fitness. I was able to apply these principles. But it requires first to really be able to follow this stuff 100%. So it's this sort of, or this is like really the coachability. So this is really an essential quality really in getting great results, reaching that high level. And in some ways it's like, it's very normal for some people that they take credit or they take loans to get like a formal education or something. It's not really that much different than finding these different coaches and to try to learn from them as well. It's not really in any ways different. You're just trying to get this knowledge that has been accumulated over perhaps years or decades or even multiple lifetimes, like in Qigong. So you're trying to get the knowledge and ready to invest into it. And it's really about also like betting on yourself. Because I remember like the very first camera that we got, where we started to film the very first YouTube videos that we have here. Like, I basically bought that with a student loan. I took a student loan to be able to afford the first camera, but from there I was really like, I was betting on myself and my future. And I think there's the same thing like with George and Pierre or these other guys who put so much time and effort into these things, is that because you'll never really know eventually what will happen, but you gotta do that bet on yourself. And you gotta sometimes, regards to like finding this knowledge, like you gotta peek around the corner, you gotta explore, you gotta see where it is. You gotta really find it and search it and be able to like lower your ego and humble yourself to be able to learn from other people. But this is so essential. This is like the secret, like the biggest secret, and such an essential quality to being able to really learn, to learn and get to a high level and not get stuck with your own personal development. So that's it, guys. That's coachability. And from this, like, you can even ponder by yourself after this video, like, is this something you've already applied somewhere? If you got some great results in somewhere or in some area, did you have a great teacher, or where did you learn it? And if you haven't really gotten great results, are you avoiding this? Are you trying to, are you not very coachable person? It's all about changing the mindset, to becoming coachable in some ways. But that's the key to making great results. So that's it, guys. Take care and stay strong.